tear. Is he good to go for the game this weekend?
Yeah, look, Max won't play this week. He's a little bit sore still. He's got a few sore spots, so with a short turnaround, it's best to give him a rest. So we'll manage him and hopefully he's back next week.
Just how serious is the injury? Because he said he felt a bit of discomfort in the first half and was managed to get into the game. But is the injury perhaps a bit more serious than just a torn muscle in his upper back?
No, look, it's not too serious. He's the torn muscle in his back's one thing. He's got a little bit of soreness in his knee as well. So they're two things that we're monitoring pretty closely. But with the short turnaround, he carries a big load, Max, and it's a really important game for our footy club without question. But for his well-being and making sure he can get through, it's important that we give him a spell.
So what do you do, Simon? Do you put Luke Jackson in that role?
Yeah, look, we've got some options. Luke Jackson's one, Braden Pruce is another, and Tom McDonald's another one. So, we've got some options coming in, but it's actually an exciting proposition. We've got our captain in Max that won't play, and also Jack Viney won't play with concussion. So, captain and vice captain won't play, and as a club and as a playing group, it's an exciting opportunity for our group to really step up and lead the club forward.
What's your view on the suspension given to Alex Neil-Bullen?
Yeah, look, obviously incredibly disappointed, with the 4 weeks. But, the tribunal, we had a great case. We ran it as well as we could have, and obviously disappointed with the 4 weeks. But that's the way the tribunal saw it. But all I can say about that is that Alex's character he's a great guy. He's an enormous character for our footy club, and there's certainly no malice in what he did, and he's obviously very remorseful of what's taken place. But the 4 weeks is a pretty big, hefty penalty, and one that we'll have to live with.
Could there be some consideration for the fact that it's the shortened season and he's basically missing a quarter of the year for a tackle?
Yeah, look, I think we all sit here with 4 weeks as being a penalty that's quite hefty. We know we need to look after the head, and it's an important part of our game to make sure concussion's not as prevalent in our game. And the tackle is one thing that clearly everyone's looking at and making sure we get on top of. But in the shortened season, there's without question, it is hefty. But at the same time, we understand why it is to be the case. But Alex is disappointed. He's a cracking fellow. He's got great footy character, and he'll bounce back.
Do you think a player with a bigger status would have got the same suspension?
Oh, that's not for me to make comment about. That's for you guys to make judgment on how that would take place. Clearly, 4 weeks is probably the biggest penalty that's gone around for a long time in this situation. So we'll cop it. Alex has been terrific in how he's handled it, and we'll move forward.
Who will captain the club, Simon, on whatever day you're playing? I've got no idea what day it is now.
That's something we'll discuss a bit later on with our group. We're going to have a range of guys that step up. We think we've got a good core group of younger players through the age of 24, 25 that can now really emerge themselves within our footy club, and it's going to be a great responsibility for those guys to lead our club. We're going to need a lot of guys to step up through the middle of the ground and really drive our footy club forward. So we'll discuss that a bit later, but we'll wait and see.
Just on Max, you mentioned post-match about the treatment you got. Did you address that with the AFL at all, or have you kind of made any progress in supporting him in that area?
Yeah, look, we've spoken to the AFL around what's been taking place away from contest areas and in general play, and it's something that they're aware of. He did get one free kick on the weekend for and not enabling him to get to a stoppage. That's really prevalent in the way the game's playing at the moment, especially when Gorney's in the area. So, we'll keep monitoring it from our end, but I know the AFL are across it as well.
And is he expected just to miss the one game, and you expect him to come back, or is this something that's probably going to have to manage for a few weeks?
No, we're expecting him to come back next week, but once again, we want to give him a little bit of rest over the next 4 or 5 days and see how he pulls up. And we've got a main session next Wednesday leading into the Collingwood game, so we'll see where he's at then.
up against Todd Goldstein. Next week, Friday Grundy. This week, it's Todd Goldstein. So, did that come into your calculations at all, given, it's going to be a tough task, whoever has to come in?
Yeah, look, Todd's a terrific player. He's in outstanding form. I think he's leading clearances in the competition. So, it's a big responsibility for the person that comes in and takes that role up. And an exciting one as well. It's a good chance for our midfielders to work against a different type of ruck situation and try and get a result in that phase of the game. So we know what we're up against. We're up against a really good footy team, especially around stoppage areas, and we want to be at our best.
Goody, is Luke Jackson a chance to shoulder the load, or are you looking at support?
Yeah, it'll be Jacko or Braden Pruce. We'll make a decision a bit later on that one, but. He's a really influential player. Luke, he's come into the competition and he's having a pretty big impact, not only forward, but when he has his 5 or 6 minutes around the ball, he's starting to have influence around contest areas. So, everything about Luke suggests that he's going to handle the situation in terms of if he does get that extra load in the ruck and start to really improve as a player.
It's Jake Lever's form, Simon.
I was wrapped with Jake's game last week. I thought there's been periods of the season where he's been a little bit quiet, but he's had some outstanding games as well. And I thought his game against Adelaide was outstanding. I thought between himself and Stephen May, they're starting to build some real cohesion in the way they operate together. And I really like the way they went about it, last week.
And Max has been used previously to kind of shore up that defence. Is there a point where you use him less in that sort of role? Have you got the confidence in the defenders in that regard?
I've always had confidence in the defenders. A lot of teams play rucks out behind the ball, especially, at forward, 50 stoppages. So that's sort of where Max is situated. But Max naturally likes to drift behind the ball and have impact behind the ball. But I've got full faith in our defenders and full faith in the way we defend. So it's been one of those things this year that we've been really strong in, our ability to defend and keep teams to low score, and that's the way we want to keep it.
And does Max going out and Luke potentially going the ruck, does that open the door for Tom McDonald coming?
Yeah, look, as I said, one of Tom or Braden Pruce will come into the team. We'll just have a look at what that mix looks like, whether we need a sole ruckman or someone that will come in and support, Luke Jackson. So we'll have a look at that a bit later.
And with Jack's concussions, I presume it's impossible for him to play if he's concussed after a 4-day break. Would he be right for the following week?
Yeah, no, he's tracking well. He had some concussion post-game. He obviously took a hit through the game, and then after the game he started to really go downhill. So he's actually moved well. He's already started some light running, and he'll be available the following week. But obviously with a 4-day break, you can't take any risk around the concussion, and the new protocols rule him out instantly.
Can you recall what incident in the game was, whereabouts, that he got the head knock?
It was late. I can't actually.
Got fined for it, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, I think he might have actually got suspended or fined. I'm not sure, one of the two. But he's been concussed and he'll miss. Yeah.